So once again, here is the French drain that I guess I engineered or designed. I had to fill it in temporarily just so that they could use the driveway and pull in and out. But I'm going to dig this back up once the second load of gravel gets here and fill that in with gravel so that we maintain water drainage from the downspout across the driveway to a lower lying area, which is right here off the edge of the driveway. It's lower in the center. It won't flood the neighbor's driveway by any stretch of the imagination, or the neighbor's yard. It won't do anything like that, but because it should all drain and absorb into the ground here and the center portion where there's a lot of foliage. So and they just historically have had issues with drainage in the driveway. There's been puddles every time it rains, just massive puddles in the driveway. Here I kind of again filled in a little bit, but massive potholes here at the edge, right up against the street, up against the curb. We're cleaning all this out, removing all the loose material, drying it all off with compressed air, and filling it in with cold patch. It won't look beautiful, but it'll look much better than it does now, and obviously it'll be much easier to, pull in and pull out of the driveway. So the first load of 5 tons of number 8 recycled gravel, which is basically like limestone. It really looks like number 8 limestone to me. It's really pretty good. There was a little bit of pieces of metal and stuff in here that obviously if it's recycled you're going to have that, which isn't really a huge deal. But this is how far 5 tons went so far. You can kind of tell where I stopped. It didn't go far. So we're having 2 more tons, or 2.5 tons dropped close to the garage, and then 2.5 tons dropped by the French drain. So I'll just level everything out from there, and that should wrap up the driveway. Now as for the backyard, again, there's been long-standing issues of drainage because it used to be a doctor's office next door and they had a parking lot there. And I don't know if you can tell from this vantage point, but the neighbor's backyard is about 6 inches higher than this yard here. Did a little bit of work here just temporarily to get rid of standing water. We're going to pretty that up as well. We're coming up right up against the house. We're raising the level of the ground up to about 2 inches below the siding so that it has a better slope away from the house. There's a mud problem over there on the side, and then the real problem, we've got a garden here that we're going to dig a lot of the items up and then replant once we grade the entire backyard. So it's just there'll be a garden here again once we're finished. Now the backyard, you can see, has a fairly substantial problem with water drainage. So my guesstimate is 40 to 60 cubic yards of topsoil to raise this up significantly higher. So that should get rid of this water problem here completely. Entirely do away with it. Just the way the land is here, water just tends to drain into this yard from the surrounding neighboring yards, especially because, like I said, that yard is about 6 inches higher. So everything runs off of there into this yard. So this is all coming up at least a good 6 inches, if not more. The only thing is I want to maintain a gradual slope away from the house towards what is going to become a pond. If you see that stand of trees there, that entire stand of trees is coming out. All the trees are pretty much undesirable anyway. They're in a marshy area. They're not the greatest trees, and they haven't been the main they were never trimmed initially, so they grew in a undesirable way. So we are removing that entire stand of trees, and we are digging out a pond that will be roughly 30 to 40 feet long by about 20 to 25 feet wide. So it will be a little bit oval shaped. We may or may not keep this smaller pond here and then have a ditch that connects the two, and then down the road build a small decorative bridge over the ditch. But yeah, all this is getting filled in. This tree, this large tree, is staying, but pretty much everything else is being removed. And you can obviously see there is a major water issue back here. Here's the pond right now, the smaller one. And here's the backyard. And the water issues extend even to into the back. If we get into the stand of trees, you can see it's even a lot of water. I mean, the water's really everywhere. So all this is going to be dealt with. By having a pond in the center here where this stand of trees is currently, by having a pond here, it will allow a place for the water to collect naturally. The pond should not require a liner. It should maintain a fairly consistent water level unless there's some sort of drastic drought. I mean, it typically is probably the water level of the pond is probably going to get lower throughout the summer months to, toward July, August, when it tends to get drier. But I'm sure it will never completely dry up the pond, just considering how high the water table currently is back here. So all the water that you see, I don't know if the camera really picks up all the water, but it's literally everywhere back here. All the water that you see in the grass is going to be completely gone. It will be dry, and in here in this stand of trees, this is all going to be water. Like I said, about roughly 30 by 30, 8 feet deep in the middle. And all these undesirable trees are going to be gone. This is pretty much a swampy area anyway, and people don't want a swamp in their backyard. Having a pond is a completely different thing. So this is going to greatly increase the value of the home. It's going to beautify the property. It'll give the homeowners a nice place to go to, if they decide to build a small dock, to go out and sit under a gazebo on the dock, sip on coffee, read a book. It'll transform the yard into a place that they're going to enjoy. You can see the water problem is literally just everywhere. Potentially going to clean this area up too. We'll see. But going to be getting a full-size backhoe for 1 week, 40 hours, and that will hopefully cover digging out the entire pond and grading roughly, like I said, 40 to 60 cubic yards of topsoil. But this will be a solution to keep water from migrating off of the property onto other properties, because that's undesirable. You don't want to, shove your water problem off onto your neighbors. So this will keep the water on the property, but it will give it a place to go that you actually want it to go. Water there. It's all, the ground is entirely saturated. We didn't even get that much rain, to be honest. So it's just, as you can see, it's a massive problem in the backyard currently. This whole thing, water right up to the fence line. This is all going to be grass, about a 10 to 12, maybe even 15 foot wide path or grassy area that goes up to the edge of the fence so that you can walk completely around the pond, do laps, mow, everything. But it's going to be what I envision in my head. It's going to be amazing. This water right here it's looking like it's about 3 inches deep here at least. Just the water. I can't even walk through it. I've got my boots on. But yeah, all this is coming up at least 4 inches. And all this water is just going to basically migrate towards the pond. That's the goal. That's the plan. So I will continuously update. I mean, this here is almost 6 inches deep of water. I mean, they almost have a pond already, but so it's going to work out really well. It's going to naturally deal with the water issues here. So it's going to be fantastic. All right.